or paid marketing methods on social media. This is a big, common, big fat FAQ that comes up all the time. And I saw it recently in a thread, and I thought, oh, do you know what? This is such a good conversation to have. So if you've been wondering, which should you use, which is better, which one is right for you, all of those things in terms of should you use free methods or paid methods, then that's what we're going to be talking about today. So this is our Brilliantly You business show. My name is Jenny Stevens. Welcome. Do join the conversation with me today. I've just realized, I don't actually know if I have gone live with the right, obviously I scheduled it, and I kind of feel like, have I just accidentally set up a brand new live? I don't know. I don't think it really matters either way, but yeah, this is our Brilliantly You business show, my weekly Facebook Live. I'm going to be covering different topics to help you in your business with marketing, mindset, and all the great stuff in between to help you with your business. Do comment in if you're here with me live today. I'm normally going to be doing these at 2 o'clock my time, but I had a client today that was already in there. Oh, cool. It is fine. So well, we're going back to 2 o'clock next week, but today it's 5 o'clock my time, and so here I am. Okay, do comment in if you're here live with me, or if you're watching the replay, just pop in replay and let me know again who you are, where you're tuning in from today. Love welcoming new people into my community, and if you are new here, then just type in I'm new, because I love welcoming new people especially, but everybody is welcome, so join the conversation with me today. Okay, so let's kind of dive in a bit. And so this isn't going to be, I mean, I do have my preference, but I want to give you a very kind of objective view on both. So I'm going to be giving you kind of pros and cons of both free and paid methods. And at the end of the day, my aim here is to help you find the right thing for you. Because there's difference of opinions. People might have arguments about which you should use. I don't really care. This is about what works for you, what might be relevant and right based on what you can do right now. And it's okay either way, but I'm just going to give you some of the pros and cons, maybe some things that you didn't know to help you out if you're kind of just getting started, or if you just kind of want to know, what's the deal? Which one should you use? How do you choose? I mean, really, it's not necessarily which one should you do. It's about how do you, individual business owner, take responsibility for themselves. How do you choose which one to use over free or paid marketing methods? Okay, so thanks for joining with me. Oh my God, sorry. Little frog in my throat. Yeah, thanks for joining with me. All kind of likes, loves, hearts, shares, everything is appreciated, so thank you. So curious, I want to kind of hear from you. What do you currently use? How do you currently market your business on Facebook, social media in general? Are you a kind of organic person, organic/free? And I'll talk about kind of that in a sec. Or are you using more so as like one of your core strategies, paid advertising? So I'd love to hear from you. So pop that in the comments. I just belted out a little bit of singing right before this, which is probably a mistake. I think I've just like screwed up my my vocal cords. I've done a lot of talking today. Okay, so like I say, I'm kind of just here to help you gain some clarity if you need it, and help you to be able to decide what might be more effective for you either right now or kind of going forward. But the great thing about it is, even if you make a decision, you don't have to stick with that forever. Like I took a big shift this year, last year. I keep saying this year, but we're in a new year now. Last year, I had to kind of do things a bit differently. And so I'm going to talk about all of that today. Okay. So, okay, so let's dive in. So firstly, I'm going to say something that you may not have heard before. I don't know, but there's no such thing as free. And you might be going, what the frick, Jenny? What are you on about? That's the whole thing of your video today is, free or paid. So what I mean is there's no such thing as free, because free methods or some people might call it organic, is you're either going to pay with time or money. Okay. And so this is kind of the big difference. And it might be that you have to start off with organic methods first. If you're just getting started in a business, brand new, and you're new to marketing, you don't quite know what you're doing yet. But either way, even if you're the most skilled marketer, it doesn't really matter. You're either going to spend more time or more money, depending on which one you choose, okay? And so that's kind of one of the biggest things right now in this question in terms of free or paid. And it's kind of like, well, what might be more relevant right now with you? Are you willing to invest more time in order to save money? And say it might be a necessity, which is totally fine. Or if you've got more, you're willing to kind of invest a bit more of your money because you've got little time, then paid might be relevant for you. But I am going to give some caveats, and like before you start doing anything, I'm going to give you some kind of caveats to that as well. Okay. So, like I say, free methods are otherwise known as sort of organic marketing, because it's not necessarily free in terms of, as you might think, like I just mentioned, you're going to be probably spending more time. It's going to be more manual stuff. It's going to be more sort of potentially labor intensive things. Okay. So if you are using and again, there's going to be some differences depending on what you're mostly using or thinking about using. Okay. Because we've kind of got personal profiles and business pages. That's a whole other conversation. I'll cover a couple of things in that, but I'm not, I've got a blog post all about that I did a few years ago. But so you've kind of got a couple of elements in terms of organic marketing. With Facebook specifically, is if you're using your personal profile for business, that's one thing. And again, everything has caveats. If you're using your business page, but you're wanting to focus on organic methods, that's another set of things to think about. And then you've got the paid stuff, which you have to have a business page to do. Organic methods tend to be predominantly, people seem to use their personal profiles, especially when they're new, because they're just getting started. They've got an audience of people that know, like, and trust you, hopefully, unless you've got a load of randoms that hate you on your personal profile. But hey, who knows? But that's kind of one of the reasons why network marketers, and say even like in my kind of therapy community that I'm part of, in terms of launching a business, it tends to be, utilize what you've got first. Start off with kind of what you've got. Now, there's some caveats even to just using your personal profile, because technically you're not allowed to use your personal profile for business. But when used effectively and in a way that's not going to be a giant billboard, it can be really effective. But it's, it's going to be, might be very different to what you might be doing on a business page. But organic marketing is going to be things like building a network of people. So if you're using your personal profile mostly, then you want to be building a network, an audience of people, because this is half the problem why people don't get any kind of results with using their personal profiles, because it's full of your friends and family who are not your ideal customer or client. And so no wonder they don't care, because they're not fucking interested. And so this is where you then have to go, okay, well, how can I build an audience of people who are actually interested, so I can talk about what I do, what I sell, and actually have some interest. So this is the thing. So if your personal profile is full of people that are not going to be likely to be interested in what you sell or do or offer, depending on what business you're in, then you need to think twice. You need to look at, okay, well, how can I grow a new network of people to be able to do that with. But most people tend to say they'll create relationships with people, they will add friends and say grow their network. You might be kind of messaging with people, being in groups, stuff like that, engaging with posts, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit more manual labor in terms of, for the most part. You're going to need to kind of create consistent content, show up, engage with people, have conversations. And it's still important, regardless of whether you're doing, and I'll paid marketing, and I'll come to that again in a sec. But if you're using organic marketing, especially if you're using your personal profile, you have to be smart about it and not just spam your products and be constant work, business, business, business. Because trust me, I've been there. People get pissed off pretty soon. You have to make it interesting, educating. So lead with value rather than just buy my shit, because people don't care. Or you might get an initial influx of sales and then people get bored of seeing the same stuff over and over again. What I recommend, if you're using your personal profile, kind of how I do things, I'm not that heavy on my personal profile, but I'm still kind of connecting with people. I share more the lifestyle of my business and the occasional kind of promo sort of thing. But for the most part, I'm sharing my journey rather than being like, hey, I've actually got a new product or a special offer, here you go. So I'm more using my personal profile to kind of build relationships with peers and people in communities and stuff. And I share my journey of business, and because I like to be myself. But I say, if you use it kind of effectively, then it can be powerful. So that's kind of one part of free in terms of using the personal profile. It's going to be a lot of relationship building, showing kind of your authority, showing that you care, sharing some content, like say sharing your journey. People love kind of following journeys, sharing stories, stuff like that. So that's kind of one way of using your personal profile. If, like I say, you kind of realize that actually your personal profile, you don't have you don't have many people that are there that might be interested in what you do. That's totally fine. So maybe you want to keep things more separate. That's kind of what I do, is I like to keep things a bit more separate. So I do 99% of my stuff I do on my Facebook business page. I use Instagram stories, and I kind of share that on both and stuff like that. So I mostly use my business page because I like to kind of have stuff there. Now, when it comes to organic marketing with your business page, again, you can be, obviously, because it's a business page, you can be a bit more matter of fact about stuff. And you'll want to do some organic stuff either way. One of the cons of just focusing with organic marketing when it comes to business pages on Facebook is, unfortunately, Facebook just do not show much of your stuff to people. The reach is so small, unfortunately. That's such a time. Like I've got over 7,000 followers on my business page, and my reach is pittance for my organic stuff, which sucks, but it is what it is. Really, you have to pay to play if you're using business pages on Facebook. So that's kind of one of the downsides, is if you're going to use just organic marketing with a business page, you might, you're really going to need to work on your writing skills, your video skills, promoting the shit at even Facebook Lives. If you have an email list, promote your lives to try and, create engaging content. The more engagement you get, the more Facebook will show it. So if you're like, I just cannot do paid advertising, I have to do free stuff, organic, I'm going to call it organic, then I would highly encourage you to really test and try out different things to increase engagement and be smart about what you're doing. The other cool thing is nowadays, you don't have to post as much as what you used to do. It used to be, post like 7 times a day or even 3 times a day. Now you can just Facebook again, because they really want, if you look at your own news feed, like Facebook don't just show you posts that are recent. They show you posts from like 2, 3 days ago if they think you're interested. And so you can't always rely on the what's new in your news feed, because sometimes, yeah, I'll get a post from a friend or a page I follow or something. And I'm like, oh, and I'll comment and I'll look and I go, oh, this is from like 2 or 3 days ago, but Facebook are only just showing it to me now. And so you have to think about that for your own stuff as well. Is that you know, if you have too many posts going out every day, you're going to be kind of fighting for the own reach, if you like. And reach just means how many people it's going out to. Okay. So to say, when using your personal profile, it's probably, if you're using organic method, that is a great way to kind of start out and use it if you're being authentic. Don't just add people as friends just because you want to sell to them. I had this conversation with a mentor of mine yesterday. We're doing a lot of kind of organic teaching in a new program they've created, and we were talking about the fact that so many people are kind of asking about, what do I say to people, because they've got an agenda. And I used to have that as well a few years ago when I first started out using social media. Was I wasn't adding people because I wanted friends. I was adding people because I wanted to be able to then sell to them. And so when you just look at adding to your network, then it takes the pressure off. So if you're using your personal profile, like I said, you have to be a bit careful about what you do anyway, because you're not actually technically allowed to use it for business. So you can't really put links and stuff like that on there. But really look at and you can't schedule things in advance. That's one of the downsides. I love being smart about my tasks. So I'll bulk task things, I'll schedule posts out for like a week or two sometimes. I repurpose old content in like a bit of a sort of automated cycle, if you like. And so that's one of the reasons that for me, I'm not a huge organic person when it comes to Facebook, because I just don't want to have to do all that manual stuff. But that's just me. But if, once a day, even, you can create a post and do that once a day if you want to. So, organic is really going to come down to a bit of a DMO, so it might be that you need to kind of connecting with people, engaging with them, so commenting on their posts, having messenger conversations, engaging on people's stories, creating new relationships using groups and stuff like that. So it's a lot more labor intensive. But it might be that you just spend 10, 20 minutes a day doing some of those things a couple of times a day. It doesn't have to be taking up lots of your time. Now, paid ads. So let's talk a bit about paid advertising. They are incredibly powerful when they work. The caveat to you doing paid ads is that you really kind of need to know what you're doing. You need to have some foundational skills first. And the foundational skills that you really need is you need to kind of really know how to write or do a video or something, either a video or a written post, but you need to be able to create a post that is going to get people's attention, that is going to get them to read it or watch your video, and that then how to get people to engage or take action. Okay, and so that does come with skills. I've spent the last 5 years learning how to write copy. I spend a lot of my time every month reviewing lots of clients' ads. I help teach it. It's one of my things that I love paid ads, and I'll kind of come on to some of the benefits there. But I spend a lot of time teaching, critiquing, reviewing, helping people to create ad copy that is going to get attention and get results. And so, but in the beginning, it can be a bit of a tough slog, because if you're new to writing copy, so it's copywriting, then it can feel like you're just throwing money away. One of the great things about paid ads is you get to buy data. You get to really see with metrics, and you know me, I'm all about numbers, spreadsheets. I love that stuff because it's black and white. You can see from numbers and metrics what's working, what's not, and it helps you to even know what to focus on. With organic posts, all you can see is the reach and how many like the engagements when you're using a business page. And it's, so it's not always, and if you're using your personal profile, you get even less insight into what's working. All you can really go by is the engagement, but you might have a lot of people see stuff and love it, but not actually kind of comment. But it doesn't mean it's not effective. With paid ads, you get a lot of data, like I say, so you can analyze it, you can evaluate it, and you can know exactly what's working and test something different and see how it changes. That's the piece I love about it. The other thing is that with paid ads, you can kind of set it and forget it. So when I was working full time, in the beginning of my journey 6 years ago, I was doing all of the organic stuff on my personal profile. I did have a business page, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And I only had like a couple of hundred followers, so it wasn't really enough to really get much traction. But I was mostly using my personal profile and my group. Now, I did do pretty well with sales initially. And I could get consistent sales, but it certainly became a lot harder because I was doing a lot of ineffective things. I was spamming. I was putting a lot of my product pictures. It was kind of constant, almost business, unfortunately. And then I actually got help, and I learned that I needed to create skills, and I needed to develop skills to actually create more curiosity and know how to attract people to me, rather than me kind of going, poof, here you go. And part of that strategy was learning about paid advertising. So to say the cool thing about paid advertising is not only do you get data, but you can also automate it. So you can have it running in the background. So it's always going to be working for you for the budget that you set, which it frees up your time. And so when I was working full time, and then I invested in mentorship and coaching to learn about attraction marketing and really how to brand myself, give value, and then have automation into my processes, it made life so much easier in one respect. Yes, I had to learn a lot of new skills and practice and develop it and stuff, but it just instantly took a bit of a weight off my shoulders. I don't know if anybody else feels like that, or you feeling like I'm feeling like there's so much stuff I've got to do. And if you're always feeling like you're on social media posting and doing all this stuff, then it doesn't leave you much time to do other stuff, then it might be worth considering looking at if paid ads is right for you. But like I say, I'd recommend using paid stuff when you've got some of that foundational stuff there. If you're kind of brand spanking new, I'd probably say hold off and start with organic. So to say the cool thing about paid stuff is you can have automation. So it means it's running in the background 24/7, and you can then do more stuff, which I'll talk about a little bit later in a sec. But it means, like I say, when I was working full time, trying to learn, do the kind of DMO and all the stuff, and cook dinner and clean the house and actually have some sleep and downtime and whatnot. The automation piece was life-changing. It was just like, oh my God, this was what I was waiting for. That, to me, was the biggest game changer ever. And my very first month, that was 5 years ago, my very first month when I plugged into a system where I was learning how to do paid ads, I was getting commissions in affiliate, but I got 70 leads, 69 to be precise, and 7 customers in 1 month when I had got I had to work my ass off to get a lot of sales when I was doing things manually. So that's just kind of one of the big, big, big differences. So if you're short on time and you've got some of those foundational stuff there, like you kind of know how to write a basic, a decent-ish post, it might be worth considering. A con though, so obviously, yes, I do love paid ads, but I am going to talk about some of the downsides of it. And what if you've got any takeaways so far, please feel free to share them with me. You can pop in hashtag nugget below every time you get a little nugget. And if you want to be able to also, I'm going to be creating some show notes. So if you want to be able to get a summary of everything that I'm covering today in kind of like a shortened written version, just comment the word show notes below, and then I'll be in touch and I can get that sent out to you when it's ready. Every single episode, because I know some people don't always have time to watch a whole video, or if you want to be able to refer back to stuff later on another time. So I'm going to be creating like a summary with some show notes and any resource and anything that's kind of relevant to you. So just comment below show notes and I'll reach out to you and I'll get that sent over to you as soon as it's ready, okay? Yes, so say any nuggets you get, just pop in hashtag nugget and also, share what you kind of took from it. So one of the downsides of paid ads is that it can be expensive if you don't know what you're doing. A lot of people, when you're using a business page, Facebook love to entice you. They love to take your money. And so on almost any post that you've done, or any post that's getting any kind of engagement, really, they'll be like, hey, it looks like this post is doing really well. Do you want to boost it? And it will show it to, more people. That doesn't mean to say that you should. And so a lot of people will just go out there and just boost the shit out of all these posts, but there's no intention behind it. They don't really know what they're doing. And so before you know it, you spent £100 and you're like, well, I got nothing for it. Paid ads don't work. What the hell are you on about, Jenny? Whoa there, Leslie. And firstly is you've got to kind of know what you're doing. So don't just go out there and just go, right, let's just crack on. Take some time, invest some time and money in a course or whatever, but learn how to do the basics at least, because otherwise you're just going to piss money out of the wall and we don't want that. So it can be expensive if you don't know what you're doing or have at least some of those basic copywriting skills to be able to create effective posts that are actually going to get people's attention and get them to read it and do what you want them to do, or using videos, like actually get them to watch your video and take action. It takes perseverance, okay? It takes testing, tweaking. You have to be really curious when it comes to paid ads. And this is the thing I kind of love about it, because with numbers, if you are a bit of a numbers, if you love kind of looking at numbers, that really helps you with your curiosity and going, okay, well, let's try a different image to what you've got and try that. And sometimes just changing an image can catapult your ad to being super awesome. Or just changing your opening line can sometimes be just literally the difference between it sucking and it being freaking awesome. So you have to kind of be okay with having money to kind of gather data and test and tweak and be resourceful. So perseverance and curiosity is key. If you are going to start out doing paid ads, then I'd recommend you set yourself a budget that you are okay with losing in the beginning, whilst you learn, test and tweak and refine and stuff. It's a bit like investing in anything. When it comes to ads, in the beginning, you've kind of got to have a bit of a budget that you're okay not necessarily getting back. So you need to look at your budgeting and go, right, okay, what can you afford and what you're okay with in case you don't get anything back in the beginning when you're learning. All right. Okay, so free methods. One of the pros, you can obviously get free sales with organic. So Facebook Lives are awesome. Obviously, they get the most amount of engagement, most amount of reach on Facebook. This is one of my biggest things that I do in terms of organic things, is I do Facebook Lives. I'm using stories a lot more now. I have my blog out there and I share my blog on Pinterest, and I get traffic every single week from Google searches All of this is classed as organic. Like I say, it takes more work, but even things, especially with a blog, it's great to have out there because people can search for stuff and they can find it just by looking on my site. Pinterest, I've got loads of pins, but Facebook specifically is more about consistency and churn. Other strategies might be, more beneficial that can be a little bit smarter, but I'm not going to talk about all the different platforms today. But you can still get sales, you can get leads, you can build a network, you can have engagement, you can get sales with free methods. I made a sale last week from my Facebook Live, so it's just a low cost product, but it doesn't matter. It was awesome. I was like, yay, it's so cool when, I make even just one sale. I don't care. Every sale is a win. And so doing a Facebook Live is the quickest and easiest way to be able to build your authority and do that. So either way, if you're doing free kind of organic or paid as kind of your core strategy, if you're doing paid, you still need to be doing some organic stuff. I would say like one post a day and a Facebook Live at least once a week if you can. And then, as a bare minimum, because you need to keep your page going. You can't just set an ad going and not do anything with your kind of normal day-to-day stuff. And I'll talk a bit about, actually, no, let's just cover that now. So basically, if you do the organic stuff as well, but say it doesn't have to be quite to the extreme, but at least from a business page, doing Facebook Lives, and then if you get comments, reply to them. It's actually going to help your paid ads. So you kind of need both. Think of it like a big ecosystem. One can work, one that doesn't always necessarily work as well without the other. Paid ads, Facebook want to see you engaging with people. They don't just want you to kind of use and abuse it. So if you've got some organic stuff as well, and if you start getting more engagement or just naturally, it's actually going to help your ad perform better. And also, if you've got then paid, because you're then building an audience, then more of those people, if they start following your page, will then actually see your free stuff. So it can be a really nice combo, and then, obviously you can do more advanced stuff later on in terms of you can even then retarget people based on people that have gone to your website, watched, a decent amount of your video, which is really cool. It's a bit more advanced. But, paid ads are a great way to get more people to see your stuff. The difference is that if you're just focusing on manual stuff, there's only so much time in the day. There's only so many people you can physically have a conversation with in a day if you're messaging them. There's only so much you can physically do in a day. And then you go to sleep, But with paid ads, like I've got a fairly global audience. I've got a lot of followers in America, Canada, Australia, other countries in Europe. So it means that when you're utilizing paid advertising, those people that are 8 hours behind me or 10 hours in front of me, they can see my stuff, and then I've got a whole follow-up ecosystem that kind of introduces me to them, that then can get them onto my email list, that follows up, and that makes an offer automatically. So it takes the pressure off, that constant do, okay? Yeah, so with free stuff, you're just relying on your manual efforts. Yes, you could kind of outsource someone else to kind of do some things for you, but really it's going to come down to you doing things on your personal profile. And like I say, organic on your business page, it's just going to be really limited when it comes to reach. And so you're going to have to work a little bit harder to really kind of test out different things to get more engagement. The other cool thing about paid ads is that you can be super targeted. This, again, I love. So personal profile, you've got friends, family, you might have co-workers, you might have your neighbors, you might have whoever. your kids, friends, mums, like, you know, whatever. And as I mentioned at the beginning, not all of those people are going to be your ideal target market. With Facebook paid ads, you can be really specific. You can hone in with who you want. So if you sell vegan products, you don't want to be posting all about vegan products to meat lovers, you know? There's just no point. And if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to paid ads, you might accidentally be kind of showing your ads to everybody. The cool thing is that you can say, hey, Facebook, I'm selling vegan products. I want to show my post to vegans, you know, people that have actually kind of told Facebook from their behavior, pages that they like, groups they engage with, products even that they buy. Facebook knows so much about us, scarily, but they do. And so you can say, right, well, I want people from the age of 20 to 40, this is just an example, who are vegan, that live in the US only, or that people that, yeah, they know that they are vegan, and or women only, you know, or if you're kind of selling business things and you want to really kind of help mums. It's like mums who are running a business whilst trying to do all the homeschooling and running with all that kind of stuff. Again, that's a kind of specific niche. And so you can specify that in your targeting and all of that kind of stuff. If you're if you're a personal trainer, you know, again, it's kind of, okay, I want to target people that either, if you want to help people that are already interested in doing some exercise, you can obviously do that. Or you can even target people that follow Weight Watchers and Slimming World. You can do that if you're in that whole health and fitness industry. There's so much you can do. It's super cool. And so that, again, is one of the best things about Facebook ads, is you can be super targeted. And obviously then you've got the automation piece as well. So you can just talk to who you want rather than trying to talk to everybody, which is just going to be a waste of your time, money, and energy. Now, one other thing is that if you do need to be clear on Facebook policies, because there's certain industries and things they don't like. They don't like network marketing, so you can't say MLM and network marketing. You've got to be very careful about the language that you use in your ads. They don't like kind of medical claims, health claims. They don't like income claims and stuff like that. So you've got to know what you can and can't do. And so you've got to kind of make sure that you get yourself familiar with the policies, because it can actually risk your account. You could get your account shut down. But as long as you play by their rules, amazing. Okay. So I know I've covered a lot. Like I say, I'm going to sort of summarize all of this in a little bit more of a order for you. So if you'd like to kind of get the summary, then just comment below with show notes and I'll reach out to you on Messenger and I'll get that sent over to you as soon as they're ready. So say, let me know what is there one that you're leaning a bit more towards in terms of the main focus for it? Like I say, and if you're brand new to using social media, I wouldn't recommend going out there straight away and looking at paid ads. I'd get some foundational skills up there first. Say my biggest client and some of my mentors have got an amazing program where they're focusing on helping people with those foundational skills of building a network, creating authority, being able to network with integrity as well, rather than just a lot of strategies are taught kind of like having that agenda all the time. And so I will pop a resource for helping you get started with attraction marketing and how you can get started to learn how to brand yourself and give value. And it kind of will show you a little bit about automation that you can utilize either way. So I can give that information to you. Or if you want to kind of, if you're like, yeah, do you know what? I've already got some basic skills there. I want to kind of look into paid ads. Again, I've got a great low cost mini course that I created that helps you to see what's the right kind of automation for you. Because even if you're doing organic methods or paid, either way, ideally you want to have some kind of way to collect interested people and follow up with them. Like I mentioned, like I had a whole system that takes care of people. So even if I'm asleep, people in America or Canada or Australia, they can find me, they can join my email list that actually shows them they're raising their hand, that they're interested in what it is that I'm offering and I want to teach them and give them as value. They'll then go onto my email list. They then can get followed up with, where I get to kind of show them some of my best stuff. I get to follow up. I can even make offers and make sales while I'm sleeping, or while I'm just having some time off, or while I'm dealing actually with clients and doing the stuff that I love doing. And so that's called a funnel. And I teach a whole kind of process that can do so. But in the beginning, I created this kind of beginner's little mini course that just helps you to see, because there's different types of funnels that you can use, and I'll cover funnels on a whole different episode. But it basically kind of shows you what funnel might be the most suited for you and your business, because it's not always going to be the same. And I even help you kind of show you how you can predict. Oh my God, that's one massive thing I forgot to say. Oh my God, clearly didn't look at my notes well enough. Is, it helps you predict sales. So that's the cool thing. When you've got the paid advertising with a funnel, is you can actually predict your sales. And I've got an awesome spreadsheet, obviously, with a calculator that helps you to say, okay, based on some numbers, if I was able to get, 10, 20, 30 leads a day, whatever, this is going to churn out this much revenue and profit and stuff. And so it's a great way to see, okay, if I can only start out at £10 a day, but if I want to really increase, if you want to increase your revenue, you want to increase and go to the next levels in your business, you can then see, okay, well, what does that look like? How much might I need to spend? Or even if you're doing organic methods, how many leads, how many people do I need to kind of opt in for this to get so many sales? And so you can kind of predict your sales when you're using paid ads as well as a funnel. It's awesome. And so I basically kind of go through that beginning steps, what funnel might be right for you. I'm just going to put a little thing down here for you. It's called Funnel Mapping Lightly. I'll tell you a story about that in a second. But there should be hopefully, oh, hold on. I think I forgot to do something. Oh no, the thing did go in there. It did go in there, apologies. So there should be a link in the comments. Yeah, it's called Funnel Mapping Lightly, because I really wanted, I'm a bit of a swearer. And so, oh my God, no, I don't want that. That's too big. And so it's, I've got to leave it over here. I like using acronyms, so I really like the FML. So I kind of created my little mini course name around that. It's only £47, so it's really cheap, but it's awesome. It's so packed of value. My clients that went through it loved it. They especially loved my kind of sales predictor calculator. Amazing. So go and grab that. You can get access to it now. It's only like, I think maybe 4 or 5 videos. Like, it's quite a small mini course that you can go through. It's normally 97, so I've kind of just put it on as a special promo for now, and so you can grab that for £47 right now. So that will just help you with, and it kind of shows you, you can even use that for both organic and paid if you want to be able to even if you can't do paid ads right now, that's totally fine. I'd still recommend that you have a system to be able to have some of the automation taken care of. One of the things I struggle with most was all the follow-up, trying to remember who I talked to. Looking in my messenger could be a freaking hot mess sometimes. And so even just that piece alone was massive for me. Because then, even if you're doing organic stuff, but at least giving people an action. What do you want them to do? If they can then go and sign up for a free valuable checklist or something that you can offer them, it's going to get them on your email list, and then you're building a couple of things. That you've got an asset, and then you've got an automatic way to be able to follow up with people and, write one email that can go out to everybody. Again, I'll cover more of that another day. So I'll put that link in my show notes, resources for you there. So I'll give you a few different resources for different things: organic, paid, funnels, add all of that in that. So again, if you want to be able to get all of that, just comment show notes below and I'll message you and give you the link when it's ready Hopefully will be tomorrow, latest Monday, but hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, that's kind of it. So like I say, whatever you choose, just know, hopefully you've got a bit of extra information, maybe some things that you hadn't thought about before. There's pros and cons to both. Nothing's better. It's just about what's either fitting for you right now. You know, if money is super tight, like when we moved last year, I had to drop my ads for quite a while. And then I did this whole kind of rebrand thing. So I haven't actually done that many ads in the last year. Normally I've always got ads running. But, you know, when I moved house, my mortgage like 2.5 times. And then my income halved. And so I had to go, right, okay, I need to just pause things a minute, just kind of collect my thoughts. But I'm going to be kind of ramping things up again soon. So, you know, it's, are you willing to invest more time or money? Okay. So I will just do a little recap for you. I know I said I've probably thrown a lot at you today. And so apologies if you're a bit like, oh my God. So the show notes will be super helpful for you if you want to be able to kind of have that summary. Whether you kind of have preference right now, or if you're a bit confused, or if you're feeling different things, just know, like I say, there's no right or wrong. It's not necessarily better or worse. It's about what's right for you right now. And even if something has to be a certain way now, it doesn't mean that in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, you're in the same place, okay? So just look at what's necessary, what could be the most effective thing for you now that you can do right now, that you can commit to. So the main things to think about is kind of, do you want to invest more time or money right now? Do you already have an audience relevant to you that you can market to? If you don't, then you probably need to work on building an audience first. If yes, and you're getting engagement and maybe you're kind of burning out a bit from all the organic stuff, then probably paid ads might well be something for you to start looking into and learning about. Okay. So like I say, I'm going to give you some resources with some things to help you out with organic if you really want to kind of help with you with your organic marketing with Facebook. We're doing it with integrity, just say building that foundation of building a network without being spammy tammy, with being able to kind of write posts that are actually going to get curiosity and get engagement. I'll give you some resources for that. And then also, if you want to be able to get help with paid ads, then I'll give you a couple of resources. I've got a mini course, and then I've got a bigger course that kind of teaches the big daddy stuff. Okay. And then, so again, I'll put that link in there for you as well. So I hope you found this useful. I'd love to hear your takeaways, and say if you've got any clarity around it, share that with me. I'd love to hear that from you. Love all the likes and hearts. So thank you for all the hearts and likes and loves and all that kind of stuff. Appreciate it. Like I say, and if you want that summary, just pop in show notes and I'll get that sent out to you today. So I know it can be confusing, but say with any marketing, whether it's free, paid, whatever, it's still all about testing. Be curious, see what works for you. You know, that's all it comes down to. See what you enjoy. I don't enjoy the organic stuff as much. I love doing Facebook Lives because I get to connect with you and kind of say hi and do my stuff. But I'm not one of these people that loves to, you know, be in Messenger all the time and have all that kind of stuff. I like automation, connecting with people that then come to me once they are saying, yep, I'm interested. So, but that's me. I've got friends that have built 6-7 figure businesses just pretty much predominantly with organic marketing. So it's about what's right for you. Okay. So hopefully that just might help you to make a choice, a temporary choice, but look at, you know, if you're struggling right now, hopefully that's just kind of helped. So thank you for joining me today and sticking around with me. I know it's been a little bit of a long one again today. I am sort of planning on making this a bit shorter, but this one was quite a big topic, so there's quite a lot to cover. So I wanted to make sure I gave it all out to you. I'll summarize it all in the show notes, but I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you found it valuable. Lots of love to you. Go out and smash it, whatever you're doing to build your business. And I'm here to support you if you need me. And like I say, and I've got resources for you that I will add in. If you want any help or you want to chat, you know, feel free to get in my message, in my inbox, and we can have a little chat if you need any help with anything going forward. Happy to do that as well. So have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll be back next week for another episode of Brilliantly You Business Show. If there's a particular topic you'd like me to cover, feel free to kind of ping it my way and I can look at how it kind of fits in. And I'll also be back on Monday with another little Mindset Monday, very short little video for you then. So have an awesome one, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.